Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Serrano. We're gonna talk about the G4 in 2020 right now, and this is from LG. This phone started out in 2015 in April, and it came out with the Android 5.1.1, which is kind of crazy. Now this thing is actually running 7.0 Nougat, the LG UX4 UI, 32 gigabytes of internal storage on here. And you do get a removable back right here, which is actually pretty cool because you can actually replace the battery. And I do have another battery pack right here, and this one is actually a larger cell. It's actually 6,500 milliamp hours versus 3,000 milliamp hours. So this is gonna give it. It comes with its own back, and it comes with its own battery as well. This thing also has the Snapdragon 808, which is pretty old at this point, but it still holds up pretty well, and it's still able to play games and run the chipset really nicely, and the phone and all the software inside of it. So as you can see, we do have a really beautiful display. Now, when it comes to using display outdoors, there's no issues whatsoever. The screen is actually perfectly lit, and it's actually at full brightness, and it's completely visible. There's no issues whatsoever when it comes to like the sun hitting the screen. You can see those pixels are actually completely visible in direct sunlight, so there's no issues whatsoever. When it comes to like, also the hardware on this device is actually solid as well. You get the removable battery, the camera, which is actually going to stand out from this older flagship, which is 16 megapixel camera with the wide 28 millimeter. Now the display of this device is 5.5 inches. It does have an older software, and that's probably the main downfall, but it's still actually pretty usable. You get the micro USB on the bottom as well. Display is actually 1440 times 2560 pixels, and it has 538 pixels per inch, which looks really good. You can see those reds, and the clarity on this thing is actually really crazy because it has a IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen, but the only thing is it's gonna have Gorilla Glass 3 on here. So you do get a plastic frame as well, so it's kind of an older flagship, which is used less premium materials from back then. Now this thing does have a Snapdragon 808, which is a 20 nanometer processor, hexa-core, with 4 cores at 1.4 Cortex A53, and then you get 2 cores at 1.8 A57 Cortex. So you do get a 16 megapixel on the back, which is actually really adequate in 2020. Has laser autofocus. It also records into 4K as well. Now, when looking at the cameras in a little bit more detail, you can see that they're definitely up to par when it comes to 2020. Definitely can get a lot of good footage from these cameras as well. So, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't any issues when it came to the cameras, or even the performance of the actual device. It was definitely really smooth, and I didn't even notice any lag after even like 6 years this thing was released. It's still actually performing pretty smooth, which is definitely a good thing to see. It has these quick these Q slides, which actually give you some shortcuts as well. You do get management options, which you can save the battery to restrict different apps from being open in the background, which is definitely pretty sick as well. But overall, this thing did have a nice build as well. You could switch the batteries out, which I did do midday, and was able to retain battery as well. You could play some, definitely perform on some light gaming as well. Nothing too crazy, but you could definitely add like COD on here, Cyber Hunter, PUBG, like the bigger titles and everything like that. This thing definitely held up like a mid-range device from current day, like from back in the day. It's still holding up like a mid-range device in the current day as well. So the chipset is definitely adequate.
Yo, let me know how these cameras are. I think it's really cool how you get this option to show what's in front of you and actually what's behind you. I might use this more just for vlogging, because this is like the ultimate vlog camera. Everything seems to be looking really smooth. Recording in the default mode, which is 1080 30 frames per second. And wow, I'm miking this camera right here.
I believe this one is straight from the UK. So I purchased the one from the UK, and it doesn't have that issue where you get the boot loop. So I made sure I purchased one where I was gonna, like completely avoid that issue. But you can see the screen display is actually really beautiful. It's got a 2K panel, which is really vibrant. Now when you hold it, you can see right here it is wobbly on the screen. That's because on a flat side, like a curved design, as you can see right here. So I actually like that because it feels really good. It gives you a really nice grip in the hand. It's really ergonomic. It has like that curved edge to it, like not edge, but like you can see right here, it just has like an overall like curved design, which is actually really cool. Now when it comes to overall like app performance and just basically the apps that you can use with this thing in 2020, everything seems to work perfectly fine. I have my Spotify, YouTube, all my social media apps seem to work perfectly fine. There's no issues. It does come with a lot of cool features here as well. You get NFC, Q slides, which is cool, battery saver, mirror cast, and you just can customize those to your personal preference. And it just has a lot of cool features that comes along with it, which is actually cool. So honestly, gotta say that this device is usable. It does heat up a little bit, and it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery, which is, in my opinion, that's probably one of its flaws, is that battery will drain pretty fast. But one of the advantages is that you do get the external battery, which you can replace it with throughout the whole day, which I actually did, and expanded my battery life without even having to connect it to a charger. So you can do that with newer devices. You definitely would have to purchase like a power bank, though. They don't give you the option to remove the battery anymore in the newer devices in 2020. But I definitely think it's pretty cool that with this device, it does give you the ability to not only expand the storage as well, but you can replace the battery when you do see it draining. And I do replace it when it actually gets to like 30%. And I try to charge it to at least 80 to 90%. But I always keep it in. I don't let it go past 30% when it's draining. I always charge it right away after I see it hit that mark, if I am next to a charger and I have the ability to do so. But this device definitely is holding up in 2020. The screen is actually really beautiful. One of the things that's really pleasant about this device in 2020 is the speakers, because they sound really good. Now I wish LG had kept this technology with the Stylo 4 and Stylo 5. They don't give you that technology for some reason, where the speakers on this one were amazing, and then They actually use some completely different speaker technology with the Stylo 4 and 5. Well, kind of wish they used these same speakers because these ones were really good. But you just get a whole ton of features on this thing. You get your quick slides right here to choose from. On the left hand side, you get music, smart settings, smart tips, selfie light. Right here, it gives you some quick tips if you wanna you take low light selfies. It gives you some cool tips here. Audio share, it gives you some options to like play around with that, and 2 people can listen and share music through NFC or smart share on this device, which is cool. You can set up your schedule here on the side, but this UI is pretty decent. It's fast. It's not the most newest or most snappiest one that you'll ever get in the world, but it's actually usable. I know a lot of people did comment on the video that I made about the unboxing and they're still using this device. Now, a lot of people would probably think that this device would get boot loop or have a ton of issues with the hardware and software, but I haven't had any issues whatsoever in 2020. So I honestly say that this device has been holding up really well, and it's kind of been a joy to use, especially for the cameras when I'm filming. I definitely filmed a lot of videos in 2019 with it, so that's something that I definitely gotta say is pretty cool. But overall, using this device, it does have that older ratio, which is 18:9. The newer phones are actually getting that 19:9 ratio, and even the 20:9 aspect ratio, which is the newer aspect ratio. But I still like this one. You get bezels to hold on to on the sides, and it just makes the device a whole lot more a joy to use and more pleasable to use for me. You can use it in this orientation or this one. You get battery saver, airplane mode, do not disturb. You can sync your stuff, but that will drain your battery. NFC on board as well. And going into the software of this device, it does have a lot of features to choose from. There's a whole ton of options that you could just play around with on this device. Home screen, lock screen, sounds, just a ton of stuff here. Lock screen options. You mess around with these weather animations, which is actually pretty cool. You also do get battery savers and stuff like that. A game optimizer. Another thing is dual window, which is not the same as split screen. They had dual window when they created Nougat, and that came out with this software. You also get your shortcut keys as well for the volume, up and down on the back of the phone, which is right here with no fingerprint sensor. But I can honestly say that these cameras are really cool, and we're gonna take a look at them in some more detail right now. But let me just show you the software that this device is running with real quick. And let me just go to software, and it is actually running on the 6.0 right now, which is Marshmallow. So you can see they give you this this is like that really old game from like back when Marshmallow, oh wow, I actually made it past the first part. But Marshmallow it's not too bad. I mean, you don't get picture in picture with this software, which sucks. And you don't get split screen, like dual mode, but you do get split screen, which is, dual mode. You just don't get the split window or the multi window that comes after 8.0. But I could definitely say that this device is pretty cool, and overall it's a really nice device overall in 2020. But if you found this video helpful, let me know. Leave a comment down below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe and check out the next video. But later, guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. But in the meantime, have a great morning, afternoon, evening, and depending where you are, have a great night and later, crew. Peace.